I can't believe that you came into my life. You made me feel.
Hello, today we're going to talk about another how-to, and we're going to do this based off of the state of Colorado. So I think the last one I did was basically like how to file for full custody pro se, and that was a pretty good one. I think a lot of it is just general kind of rules and guidelines on what to do when you don't have an attorney. A lot of us don't have an attorney, and it's crazy that the family court system hasn't really figured that out at all, nor done anything to kind of fix that. So unfortunately, here we are. So today we're going to talk about Colorado and go over, I have the paperwork right in front of me so I can give you guys really good sort of hands-on experience, and with the forms and such, make you feel a little less lost, I think. So the first step when we're filing for full custody is, what does the parenting time and decision-making time look like for kiddo? So this doesn't mean what does it look like for you. There's a lot of leeway you can get. You can ask for anything. You can ask for somebody to confirm their favorite animal before child pickup, and maybe a judge might not approve of it, but you can ask for it. It's not illegal to ask. I don't suggest it, but to each their own. So my channel is specifically dedicated to those kind of handling abuse and are in the process of getting out of it. The only method of co-parenting that still to this day has absolutely no data on it is called a method called gray rocking. I think most of you are probably going to be familiar, but it's basically just minimizing any and all responses that you might have towards the abuser to make yourself look as least appealing as possible. They never actually lose interest in you because we're people. We have things about us, qualities about us that are appealing to different people. That's why we have things like friends and family, and we're able to establish and maintain long-term relationships. There's stuff to us. We're all gifted in our own ways. Abusers are also very good at picking out their prey. They're very good at finding the people that might be most susceptible. You'll see them pick not so great prey, and maybe it's typically like a friend who's like, oh, I could never see them doing the things that they did, and meanwhile they're going to jail for things like strangulation. And they 100% did do it. So anyways, I digress. The first step is just determining what type of parenting time. With the gray rocking method, hopefully being utilized, that's gonna look kind of a bit up in the air. When I first got divorced, there was a 50-50 parenting plan put in place, which was crazy to me because it had just been founded that there was some child abuse, and still somehow it was determined that 50-50 was the best interest. That's family court. Don't even get me started on that, because I will name drop that judge so fast. So the issue here is, if you are doing gray rocking method, you really want to take that into consideration. So step number one is going to be no longer communicating via phone call or in person, even if you can get rid of that. If you can do drop-offs with a family member, a friend, somebody you trust near and dear to you. I remember COVID, there was this massive uprise in parents doing their swaps with like Uber or something. They would like this was before my time, but they would like throw their kids in an Uber and just like Uber them to the other parent's house. It was wild. So yes, so you got to come to some sort of agreement with it. I don't agree in coming to an agreement with an abuser. I agree just taking it straight for the throat, if you will, and throwing it at the judge, and just kind of going with what they say. It's not going to be the best. The first decision is not going to be the best. So get that Band-Aid ripped off. It's not going to be the best. They don't know you. You're just getting in front of them. They need to spend time getting to know you. With sole custody, that's what I will always recommend to any victims of domestic violence. Go for sole custody. The reason behind this is because it'll give you the primary decision-making authority regarding any sort of major educational, health, religious, or extracurricular activities, things like that. Step number 2. So after you've weighed out pros and cons of different parenting time frames, different sort of drop-offs, different ways of communication, those are all going to be worked into your plan. It has to be a separate exhibit. It's got to be printed on like a Word document or something that you could just label exhibit for the most part. but it's got to be printed separately, okay? And get that all done, get it squared away. If you need to print it, go to Staples. You can email it there. It costs you like something silly. It's like $3 for a piece of paper, but whatever. Next step, you're going to have to file a petition, okay? And I'm going to read these in the order that the state of Colorado needs them in. So you can find these online too. JDF 1000 is what I need. One second here. I should have had this organized. So the first step for Colorado, and if I remember correctly, it'll be any state, is your case information sheet. You have to have a case information sheet because that goes at the front of the filing for the judge and the secretaries and all that stuff to read off on it. It looks like this. So you'll see it's got, the district court that you're in. So like mine is like Denver District Court. You could have Thornton District Court, whatever kind of stuff you want. Then you're going to have the petitioner. So that's you. You're the petitioner. You're filing it. The respondent is the other party involved. Then you're going to have the case number, the division, and the courtroom. Those are all specific. So you have to, a lot of times you'll have to wait. So you don't have a case number if you're just now filing this. You don't have one yet. The front office staff will fill all those out, but eventually as you're filing more and more things, like let's say you're filing an objection or something to that extent down the road, you'll have to fill these portions out eventually. Right now you're fine though. So the first step is going to be your information and the respondent's information to the best of your ability. Okay? If it's not 100%, that's okay. If there's a restraining order involved, you may not even have to fill it out. So it's all kind of case by case basis. The next page, and I'm going to try to go over these every page, but there's a couple where I save pages on because printer ink and inflation. So the next page, you're going to have the kids' information, all of them. So however many kids you have, list it all out. And then you're going to have, so then you're going to have your information again, lots of repetitive stuff, and then your signature down there at the bottom. And, okay. So then 1413. So that was JDF 1000, which you can find up here. It's up at the top left of the page. They're all public. You can find those online. You can just Google it, JDF 1000 with the state name, whatever it might be. For this, it'll be specific to Colorado for JDF 1000. You'll have to find those online if you live in a different state. I did another video earlier on that got a ton of responses, which is why I'm kind of tag teaming this one too, because I think I put some time under my belt, so I just know more. So the next sheet is JDF 1413. So the JDF 1413 is the petition for parental responsibilities. This is your meat and potatoes, okay? So again, same thing up at the top. Every new piece of paper, every new form, you're going to have to fill this information out. It's got your information, respondent's information, courtroom information, okay? Same thing. So petitioner's information, relationship to the children down there at the bottom. You're going to need to answer all those to the best of your ability, okay? Co-petitioner, again, this will be the abuser or the ex-party in here, all their information. And then let's see here. Again, all the kiddos' information, still repetitive, right? And for this one, so for Colorado, and I think it's pretty similar with every state, you have to be living in the state for greater than 6 months in order for them to take jurisdiction. You shouldn't go move prior to filing out of state because they might order you to come back. So if you move, get a job, get a place to stay, all that stuff, get all these responsibilities going, you might be ordered within 6 month window to come back to the original state by a judge should they file something in court. So just be wary of that. But if you've been in Colorado for longer than 6 months for this specific video, it's 182 days, you can file and it'll take jurisdiction, okay? Lots of demographic information, Native American heritage, things like that. Fill all those out. Over here, other court cases. This is crucial to know. If you have a restraining order, if there's a restraining order being filed, or if it's already been filed, you have to put that information down. Restraining orders are pretty instant, so you'll have like the type of case, which is, you know, protective order, whatever, county, state, case number, and then what does that say? Approximate date. So if you have a pending restraining order, I would still put that in because it's going to kind of draw the attention of the judge or the magistrate in Colorado's case, and kind of get them going. If there was, you know, anything ordered from child support already, which this is an initial filing video, so there shouldn't have been. But if there was, you'll need all that information as well. If you're on any sort of WIC or SNAP benefits, food stamps, that type of thing, that information is going to go down. Here's another section for more in depth on the protection order and restraining orders. You're going to need all that information. I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. It'll definitely get their idea. And then again, just don't forget to sign it. Okay? You have to sign everything in court. And if you don't sign it, it'll get kicked back and you'll waste your time. And sometimes if you don't have any sort of state assistance, you have to pay out of pocket. So it's like $265 or something crazy to file for divorce in Oregon. And I think it's probably pretty similar for Colorado. At the time, we were on benefits. So if you're on that, it's free. But just don't forget to sign it because it's a massive waste of time. You had to go to the courthouse to upload this filing with the secretary and all this stuff. You had to go do all these things. So don't waste your time. Your time's important. Okay, so which one? Oh my gosh. All right, that was 1413. So next is 1414. And these are all the 4 included forms that you're going to need to make a complete filing for a petition, okay, for the petition for full custody. These are the 4 ones you're going to need. So we've had JDF 1000, JDF 1413, JDF 1414, and I'll give you the next one just so you can skip this video if you want. JDF 1422 is the final form, okay? The 1414, that's what we're going to go over right now. So this is the court summons. These are part of the things you have to send to the respondent, okay? You have to send certain things. You have to get them served. This is the summons, okay? It's the summons to respond to petition for allocation of parental responsibilities, okay? And typically in the family case, yeah, it's Colorado's so nice, man. So all you have to do is fill this out, this top section, to the best of your ability. Next thing that happens, once all this gets accepted, once this gets accepted, the court clerk fills all that out, okay? Because you're pro se. So once this gets accepted, the court clerk signs all this stuff, and they actually, for Colorado, they actually serve them. If you have their email, the court clerk will serve them. They will email them all the forms. You don't have to do a single thing. It's so, so nice for domestic violence victims in that aspect. It's not nice for the entire process, but that part is nice, okay? And this is the form that I did not print all 5 pages of because I can pretty much summarize it for you. So this is the 1422. What it is the order for parental responsibilities, okay? Fill this all out so the court clerk or the judge, magistrate, whoever it is, doesn't have to do it for you. And then this is the, let's see here. So because this is the order form, most of this is going to be filled out by the judge. I'm sorry, it's mostly filled out by you pre-hearing, but you don't have to do anything with it until you have a hearing. It's part of the stack of 4 that gets submitted to the Colorado court, but you don't have to do much with it. So the court clerk will fill out, this matter was heard on and the date of your hearing. And then it will say, you were either present, not present, respondent, so the ex, the abuser, was present, not present. And then they'll go over the fact findings throughout the remainder of these pages. Later on in that packet, it will also dictate what the judge found, whether or not the order was was approved or denied. The next step in this, after you get all those forms filled out, brought down to your local district courthouse. Okay, it's important because you don't want to go to the wrong courthouse. It's just gonna be a mess at that point. They'll hopefully help you, but shh. So then you want to serve the other parent, okay? And they have to be served typically, like in Oregon, I remember I had to do it by sheriff, which was ridiculous because it was like over $50 for the sheriff to bring forms to somebody. And like, I remember with my restraining order, they didn't even get him served until basically the restraining order was expired at that point. So it was like, what was the point? It was ridiculous. But in Colorado, more often than not, they do electronic service. So once it's all approved, they'll just email a copy out to the other party, and that counts as a service. The court clerk does it. They do everything on their end, and you don't really have to do much. And then you'll have what's called an initial status conference, or ISC. So after you file for child support, the date of your ISC or hearing should be contained within your case management order. You must attend this hearing with the other parent. Proceedings will be outlined to you from there by the judge, magistrate, or a family court facilitator. It's vital. It's crucial to not miss any of your hearings here, okay? You can't miss anything. If you miss something, odds are high that the other party will just win by default. And so then from there, the next step is you'll have to prepare and notarize a parenting plan or attend the hearing. I know there's an or in there. I recommend both. So the parenting plan is what we've previously discussed. If you want to know more about that, I'm already at 16 minutes for this video, so I'm not going to cover it here. There's a parenting plan video on my channel. You can go find that. But you need that parenting plan. I remember mine fit in like a little tiny blurb, which was cool at the time. I just, was ready to get full custody. And so I met all of his demands and made it happen. And then we worked from there. Okay. So yes, prepare and notarize. You need to get the parenting plan notarized. That's another important step that I don't want to miss. She's very upset at me. Once you get the parenting plan done and printed, you have to take it to a notary, typically at typically at like a post office, USPS, I think did mine in Colorado. And small fee, but take it there. They stamp it. They say that they watched you sign it. It's pretty simple. And then, after that, you're off and running, baby. You just got to kind of hang out and wait and see what happens from there. But that's a Colorado filing for child custody. I know it seems super, super overwhelming, and I know this was a bit of a lengthy video. But as long as you have your pen and paper, you write down those 4 form numbers, the JDF. Hold on, let me say those again just in case you stuck around, and I don't want you to forget them because they're very important. If you haven't written them down, write them down. You need the JDF 1000, JDF 1413, JDF 1414, JDF 1422. Okay, you need all of those. They have them in Spanish options. They have them in every language online. You can find them online. But take all those down to the courthouse, file everything in person, get to know the self-help clerk at the self-help library at your district courthouse, and you'll establish a rapport. Over time, you'll be in and out. It's a bit of a rough road, but it's not the end of all. So we'll get there. It's just a matter of time. Anyways, I'm so proud of you guys. If you're leaving your abuser, please stay left. Don't go back. I'm begging you. And you got it. You're killing it. See ya.
You made me feel again. Now it's my turn. You say you've always been a little bit shy, but I can put an end to your fear.